मेरे को ना पुणे का पूरा डेटाबेस निकालना है, हैदराबाद का निकालना है, अहमदाबाद का।
इतना सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all the dear friends. We welcome all of you to our Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series. This is a 45-minute digital presentation of the business opportunity which we have got for you. It's our everyday aim to provide maximum business as well as franchise solutions, suggestions to all the investors through our physical and digital show so that you take a right and a conscious decision of selecting the best franchise for yourself. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. Both as a team would be hosting this particular webinar and they would love to take your queries. We have created a question and answer box where you can share your suggestion, feedback, as well as queries that can be taken during our panel discussion. And the business opportunity which we are representing today comes from Delhi. It's Qwinny's. Qwinny's, it's everybody's favorite pan-Asian delivery kitchen. They started their journey in 2018 and today they have 2 outlets in Gurgaon as well as Delhi, and they are expanding quickly and they are bringing the lucrative opportunity for all the aspiring entrepreneur planning to start their journey in F&B sector. Today we have invited Mr. Aryan to talk about this great opportunity. Thank you so much, Aryan, for joining in today. But before I formally invite you to share your presentation, talk about Qwinny's, we have a beautiful video for every investor. So now I invite Aryan Malhotra to talk about this great brand. Thank you so much, Aryan, for sparing time joining us today. Over to you.
Hi, Archana. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. And hi everyone for taking your time out from your busy schedules to come and join me today in presenting our brand Qwinny's to all of you. So I'll just share my screen so that I can take you through this presentation. Yes, I believe my screen should be visible to all of you now. So, hi everyone. Just to introduce myself, I'm Aryan, and Qwinny's is a brand that was started by my father, Mr. Aman Malhotra, in 2018. Uh, so, moving on to what Qwinny's really is. So, Qwinny's is a food delivery restaurant specializing in traditional and contemporary Pan Asian cuisine. So, we lived in South Delhi up until 2014, and in 2014 we shifted to Gurgaon. So once we moved to Gurgaon, we realized that the Chinese food, the Pan Asian cuisine that was very dear to all of us as a family, was nowhere to be found as far as a good premium Pan Asian delivery experience was concerned in Gurgaon. So recognizing this vacuum within the market, Mr. Aman went ahead and took the opportunity to open up Qwinny's, which basically has a menu consisting of the best-selling dishes all across from the Japanese, Thai, Burmese, Vietnamese, Malaysian, Chinese, and anything Pan-Asian that you can imagine. So again, just to reiterate, Qwinny's was created with one goal in mind: to deliver a premium Pan-Asian dine-in experience at home. So our starting and up until now as well was us operating in a delivery kitchen or a cloud kitchen format. So this venture was started in 2018 with our one cloud kitchen present in Gurgaon in DLF Phase 4. So, this business slowly started gaining some traction, and we put in a lot of effort into making sure that we had all the dishes and recipes and everything right along with us. Then, as all of you are surely aware, the platform of Zomato really hit a peak during the Corona times. So during this time in 2020, Qwinny's in Gurgaon, which was at the time our only outlet, became recognized as Zomato's highest single revenue generation outlet. So, multiple occasions during the peak of Corona, September, October, November, December of 2020, our outlet was generating in cloud sales in Gurgaon in excess of 35 lakhs in revenue and delivery on a monthly basis, and that too at an average order value of over 1,400 bucks, which is quite high considering the delivery model. So in order to attain this level of success, there was a constant critique and correction of every dish, every process, and every detail. So moving on, again, during the pandemic, we decided to open up another one of our cloud kitchens, this time in south of Delhi, near N Block Market in GK1. So, during the pandemic, while a lot of businesses might have been slowing down, our business actually saw an accelerated growth, being categorized as an essential service. And there was not a single day in the entire pandemic that we did not operate as a kitchen. We were successful in retaining all of our staff and further expanding that and opening up our new outlet in south of Delhi in September of 2020. So, after we shifted to Delhi, we became a fan favorite of all of the embassies in the Chanakyapuri area for all of you that are familiar. And now finally coming to this particular arc of the brand, in 2021, with the pandemic seemingly behind us, and with everyone really looking forward to going out and just enjoying live real food as it is. Quinny's is now building its offline presence with two stores, coming in within Delhi NCR. So our first outlet that we are opening up will be in DLF Promenade in Basant Kunj at the food court. And our second outlet will be coming up in DLF Cyber Park in Udyog Vihar in Gurgaon, right next to Cyber Hub. So our corporate vision, summed up in one line, is to delight our customers with an authentic pan-Asian food experience through a focused approach on quality, consistency, and operational excellence. Okay, so some USPs about the brand before I really start getting into the franchise proposition that we have for you guys today. So some things that are unique about the brand compared to some other restaurants and some other competitors of ours within this industry is that we have a very plentiful portion size, leading to a value for money proposition to the consumer. Our packaging is actually temperature proof as well as contamination proof, as we serve our food and package it in these delivery boxes, which keeps the food hot for in excess of 2 to 3 hours. So okay, so one of the really big plus points that I personally find this business to have is, with the onset of the pandemic and Corona, all the businesses essentially were forced to shift from having some sort of a physical presence, some sort of an offline presence, into condensing their entire business and their entire business model into something that can be done online. Now, where we are different from all the other businesses in this way is that Qwinny's, since 2018, was simply a cloud kitchen, a delivery format. Before Zomato had reached the heights that it had reached, Qwinny's was already present strictly in the online format. And as you guys are aware, I'm sure, the online format is a little bit tight on the margins, due to the presence of certain aggregators, a lot more factors influencing who's going to be seeing your posts, what your visibility will be like on certain platforms, on a lot of different things going into that. So from a margin tight online delivery business where we have run 2 successful outlets both for multiple years now, we are expanding into the dine-in sector, which is much more margin friendly. And with the years of experience behind us, and with our entire team motivated, it definitely seems like after gaining some success in the online business, the dine-in sector is something that we're very excited to be working towards, and we definitely plan on making it a success as well. So the last one of the other USPs of the brand is that we have a supply chain system wherein we have very clearly demarcated what all sauces, what all meats, what all vegetables will be, getting cut in the base kitchen at the outlet level, and we have a whole supply chain ecosystem where we're going to plug in our franchisees in their kitchens, and this really helps in ensuring a consistency across each and every one of our outlets. I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about the food service industry within India. So the food service industry in India is expected to register a robust growth in the coming years. So as we can see, whether we look at the transactional values, whether we look at the transaction volumes, or whether we look at the total number of physical outlets, there has been a significant jump from 2015 till 2020 in all of these formats, when it comes to the food industry. And this same trend is projected at an exponential rate to be growing. And we are definitely a part of this entire growing market that is there. And if we have to look at all of the different formats that are present today within the food service industry, we can see that the QSR format is definitely holds the major share in all food services today. Beating out things like a full service restaurant or a PDCL, which is a pub, bar, club, and lounge model. The quick service restaurant format, which is the format that we will be presenting to you guys today, is gains the highest market share as of right now, and also holds the most potential for growth in the subsequent years. Now, this is just a quick overview for all of you to maybe have a look at some of our competitors within the Delhi NCR market where we're looking to expand, and also the price points at which they offer their services as well as their formats. So, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with all of these brands already. So Qwinny is already in a delivery only format, is averaging, has an AOV of $1,200, which, is usually the kind of AOV you expect to see in a fine dining or in a casual dining sort of a restaurant. So that is something that we have already been able to achieve. Now, again, looking at this market mapping being done over here. So, just before I get into the franchise model in too much detail, I would like to give you a slight overview. So we are going to be presenting you with two models today. One model is our food court model, and our other model is the casual dining model. So as you can see on the left hand side, both of these fall under the QSR format of food, and the price points for both of them will lie somewhere between 700 and 1200 depending upon the model, with the casual dining model having a slightly higher AOV and the food court model having a slightly lower AOV. Okay, so coming to the main point, the franchise proposal that we have for you today. So, when it comes to quick service restaurants, the beauty about it is that, it can run basically anywhere where there is some sort of a commotion, where there is people activity involved, where, there is just a constant influx of people, whether it's your commercial malls and retail malls, your airports, metro stations, IT parks, hospitality, regardless. The QSR format is such that, we are looking to expand into all of these different segments and sectors that are there. And, we wish to cater to people in all of these different, sort of ecosystems that are there, and wish to set ourselves up in order to have a maximum brand visibility and brand outreach. So, right. So as of right now, we have two models that we're going to be offering you. So our current outlets are, as I had mentioned, a cloud kitchen in DLF Phase 4 in Gurgaon, as well as one in N Block GK1 in New Delhi. We also have a food court in DLF Promenade coming up, launching this very month. And we have another food court in Cyber Park, which should be operational within the next few months. So we have a food court format as well as a QSR casual dining sort of a format over here. And the good thing about all of this is, we have Cloud Kitchen written over here. So we have a very highly customized menu. Somebody looking to come in at a food court and have some food is going to have different expectations, and a different menu is required to cater to that than somebody who is coming into a casual dining format, vis-a-vis somebody who is ordering in food at home, has some different expectations. So our team has worked quite comprehensively on all of these different formats that are there, and our menu has been developed in a way that we're catering the best of the dishes specific to each particular kind of a format. So for instance, if any of you guys know that crispy items don't really usually do that well in delivery. A lot of fried items just kind of, by the time they reach home, they get soggy. So how to work around that, what all processes we can put in place in order to ensure that when we're delivering certain items, what all steps are to be taken. Do we need to put holes in the lids of the container in order to let the steam out so that the dishes don't get soggy, or whether it's how something is served fresh off the wok, like in a live situation. All these different processes have been really looked into in detail by our entire team, and menus have been decided in accordance with the format that is being presented. So just to give you guys a slight idea of how the brand outlet is going to look like, this is our storefront that is there in DLF Promenade in Basant Kunj. And this right here is the board out in DLF Cyber Park. So we are proposing to you a 4-4 franchise model, which is a franchisor owned and a franchisee operated franchise model. Now, all the operational expenses will be borne by the investor over here, and the revenue will also be gained by the investor. So where we come in as Qwinnies is that we will be doing everything that we can possibly do to make the kitchen and the outlet a huge and a roaring success. So there's a lot of different functions and a lot of different support functions that we offer. Despite it being a franchisee operated model, we definitely make sure to get into the thick of all the details. So to give you guys a better idea, so here is our team. So we have a dedicated team responsible for the onboarding processes, responsible for the staffing and training. Now, this is a very continuous process. Staffing and training is not a one-time thing that at the start we'll give you your staffing and we'll train the chefs and we'll train the managers. It's being the nature of the business being very dynamic as it is. The staffing and training part is something that just is a constant requirement within this industry. Then we have certain branding and sales functions. Consistency is again something that we look uh, so consistency is something that we look at very closely. We want to ensure that a customer visiting us in a particular outlet has a certain image of the brand. We want to make sure that we live up to that same expectation and that same standard when that person goes to a kitchen, whether it's in Delhi or in Gurgaon or prospectively in Noida, Faridabad, whatever the case might be. Again, then we have a few of our senior managers within our team who will be helping you out with the day-to-day operations. Being the nature of the business, just being a business involving so many micro transactions and just being a very dynamic business. It requires a keen eye. So we have people who are who have multiple years of experience within the industry, having been in different roles in different organizations, who know how to handle the day-to-day operations, who know how to handle the different problems and the different things that sort of need to be dealt with on a day-to-day basis. Then we have a production team, who are responsible for ensuring that all food costs are being maintained, all the raw material supply is being done in a proper manner, the base kitchen production is happening, and the supply chain is intact. And then for the finances, again, now this is a very important part. We have certain financial resources, certain tools that are there, which help in order to plan the manpower, or plan the amount of inventory that we might be requiring for an upcoming month. So these are all certain things that and certain operations rather that we will be assisting you as a team when you choose to onboard with us. So some more of our key support functions. So before uh, the outlet is live and is opening, our team will help you out with the site selection and approval, making sure that we have the ideal location is of utmost importance, because that is really what it all comes down to. We're going to be providing you with a brand docket for the unit design as well as the layout, equipment sourcing from our authorized vendors, training of all staff for efficient operations, as well as we will be providing you a handover of our operations manual as well as our recipe manual. And post opening again, these are all support functions that are just there as a base, and we will be adding on to these because because as I had mentioned, the nature of the business being very dynamic, there is a continuous and a constant support that we need to be giving to all of our franchisees in order for the kitchens to all become a success. So any new product developments, menu innovations that we get, any marketing activities that we do and are already engaged in on a regional level or on a national level, promotional schemes, again, continuous staffing and training. This point I cannot emphasize enough. And also, we'll be giving you a point of contact for all sorts of operational issues during the operational hours of the outlets. Now, our rollout plans are such that we are currently first looking to completely exhaust our, prospective market within Delhi NCR. We want to establish a web or a network of, a multitude of different outlets, food courts, casual dinings, and all of the sorts. And, once we can sort of make sure that we've exhausted this, because whenever we choose to expand, we're not just going to be putting in one outlet here or one outlet over there. What we plan to do is, we plan to select a region, open up a base kitchen over there, open up the first one or two outlets, maybe ourselves, and sort of get a good sense of what the market is, make sure we incorporate all the different regional factors, and tweak the menu according to the specific palate or the specific taste of the particular segment or the particular region that we are in. And looking at our immediate future, we are open to expansions all across Delhi NCR, and here are listed some prospective locations that we're definitely eyeing and would make for some really good business propositions if opened. Okay, now moving on from this, again, so we are keen to open up a multi-unit or a master franchise deal. So, when it comes to regional expansions in the long term, we our entire team as a whole is a very strong believer that, in order to expand regionally, we can't have a very corporate or a very top-down sort of a feel to it. So, the Delhi NCR market is sort of our home market. So, we understand exactly what all niches are there, what the exact palette is like, what the social culture is like, a lot of different factors that essentially influence what kind of a menu should be rolled out into a particular region. So what we are very interested in is, in partnering up with someone who has that regional knowledge, that local knowledge, who can, give us the feedback, and, working in conjunction and in partnership with these investors who have, said regional knowledge and local knowledge that can help us implement, certain physical changes into our menu and account for the different factors and the different sort of palette of the people that we will be encountering. So this is one of the reasons why we're very interested in a master franchise or in a multi-unit franchisee. And again, so area master franchises, as I had mentioned, the local marketing is the main reason. So our product sourcing strategy, simply put, is an ABC strategy where all products listed in category A will have to be picked up from our base kitchens and from the company itself. All products listed category B will be, coming in from approved vendors, whether it's your equipment, so whether it's your raw materials, whatever the case might be. And for category C, most of our, the day-to-day onions and tomatoes and, just the run-of-the-mill food items that are required, which can be bought from the open market as well, fall under this category. So again, moving on to the next slide now. Okay, so moving on to the unit financials. So I'd like to take on the food court model over here first. So as you can see, we have a cost breakdown on the table on the left-hand side. So, in the food court model, we have kitchen and equipment coming out to about 7 lakhs. We have a fire control panel for safety reasons coming into about 3 lakhs. We have interior fit outs, some initial stocking that needs to be done, a franchise fee of 7 lakhs levied on our food court model for a tenure of 5 years. Some trade licenses that are required, as well as a launch marketing budget that will be required. So our total investment, inclusive of all, charges for the food court model, comes out to about 26 lakhs 30,000. So if I have to now look at the breakdown of, how you will be recovering this investment back, I'm going to move on to the right-hand side table. So, a monthly revenue projection in our food court model, given the right location, given the right support coming in from all ends, is about 15 lakhs realistically. So within the food court model, I'll just take you through this table really shortly. The cost of goods sold. Now, this basically refers to your food cost, your packaging cost in the case of food court, the containers that you serve your food in, as well as, the LPG, because, in our cuisine, most of the food is made on the wok, it's fresh off the wok. So there are definitely certain LPG requirements that we've accounted for over here. Both of our formats are charging a royalty of about 6.5%. We have a marketing budget of 2.5%. Now, this marketing budget is used for two reasons mainly. So one of the reasons is in order to gain a certain amount of visibility on Zomato. So we have you know, a certain stipulated amount or a percentage that we like to deploy in order to gain a certain traction on the Zomato platform and the online aggregator platforms as well. Because, when we're doing the financials for this business model, once we reach that break even point, it becomes very, very lucrative for us to have our delivery sort of business, the delivery function of our business supplementing our core business, which becomes our dine-in this model. And, any sort of contribution that we can get from the delivery part of the business really, really helps in boosting the top line of the business as a whole. So coming back to the rent comes out at about 16%. So in the food court model, we found a lot of prime locations are interested in a revenue sharing model where there's either a minimum guarantee involved or there's a revenue sharing model that's put in place beyond a certain percentage of the revenue being exceeded. The staffing is about 15%. Utilities, your electricity and water and all of these things boil down to about 5%, and your total cost comes to about 89.5%. So the net profit that will be retained by the investor at the end comes to about 10.5%. And on a monthly basis, that accounts for an earning of about 1.6 lakhs roughly. And on a per annum scale, that amounts to roughly 18 lakhs 90,000 in net profit that can be expected from our food court model. Now, moving on from this, we can see that given the investment of 26 lakhs as well as the earnings per annum of about 19 lakhs, we have a ROI of about 71%, which makes your total payback period, on the whole investment roughly about a 17 months procedure. So, in about a year and a half, we're going to be having your investment as a whole break even. And the remaining 3.5 years are all planned for, for all of us to make money together, basically. Now, coming to our dine-in format, it's pretty similar to the food court format with a few changes. Some furniture and crockery costs also are included over here with a slightly higher franchise fee. Getting our total investment to about 43 lakhs 50,000. And the monthly revenue we can expect from a dine-in. Now, again, this revenue that I'm projecting has about 2 to 3 to 4 lakh of about a delivery sale that we are looking into, and the rest of it is all a dine-in sale. And for the same purposes, this entire table that I've put, accounts for all the commissions and all of the different sort of functions that come along with the running this kitchen as a whole. So again, the cost of goods sold in a casual dine-in format is slightly lower owing to the fact that there's no packaging charges. All of the food we serve will be on plates and will be fresh and all. And overall, it's a very similar format, so as to say, with the net profitability coming out to about 12% in this format, and an earnings per annum of about 30 lakhs expected. Now, this model again has a similar ROI of about 70% and a similar payback period, given the size of the investment. So So I'd be happy to take up any more questions on the finances as we move on, but I wouldn't want to waste too much time over here. So moving on to the next part, okay, so an ideal partner profile for our franchisees. Now, ideally, we are open to absolutely anyone and everyone who has, that entrepreneurial spirit, who has that energy and that, will in them to sort of, be engaged and be active in the operations, be an active member of our team and, join the entire Qwinny's family, so as to say, and become a part of it. And, other than that, some things that we definitely do prefer is, somebody with some sort of an experience in the food service industry is always preferred, owing to obvious reasons. And, but again, like, and I can't stress on this enough, the profitability and the success of your business model, of the business model that we're presenting to you, depends majorly on requiring somebody who is willing to invest 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes a day, to have a proper weekly sit down, somebody who has that time, energy, and that zeal to sort of run and put in the time to run the restaurant. So we're open to all sorts of people, people who have existing restaurants coming in, who want to convert their existing restaurant into one of our locations, are very welcome. We have people who might own certain properties in certain places. We can help them in shortlisting and identifying whether their locations can be used as our outlets. We have people who might want to partner with us for a multi-unit agreement, somebody who is keen to maybe take over an entire region and partner with us in growing in that sort of an atmosphere. And like I said, young entrepreneurs, somebody with that passion and energy and drive is always more than welcome to join us. So what makes us the ideal choice? So our cuisine, because we're not a Chinese brand, we're not a Japanese brand, we're a pan-Asian brand. So we can have dishes from Chinese, Japanese, Thai, Malaysian, Vietnamese cuisine. The list just goes on and on. So as far as the cuisine popularity goes, in the Indian market, after the Indian cuisine, of course, the sort of pan-Asian cuisine is the leading cuisine within the market. And, we have a very strong presence within the home delivery market, especially. So, our menus having been segregated according to, the cloud kitchen format and the food court format, as well as the casual dining format, our presence over there, really helps in adding to the top line, because our numbers that we've done on Zomato, we are extremely confident that with the value proposition we can get out in the dine-in model, as well as in for customers wanting to order food directly to their homes, there is quite a significant opportunity over there. So again, like I had mentioned, menu customized to format. We have well-established vendor relations that we will be passing on to all of you. A lot of brand building activities, such as certain search engine optimization, certain articles and newsletter publishing. A lot of these things are already in place, and anyone who wishes to join us will be plugged into this and will be reaping the benefits of a lot of different activities that we have already sort of conducted. So some of the benefits that a franchisee aims to gain, all in all said, is so I had shed a little bit of light upon this earlier on. So we already have two outlets, that are doing extremely well within the delivery format. And, there are so many costs that are sort of additional, whether it's your commission fees, whether it's your marketing fees for more online visibility, whether it's certain discounts and promos that you will be running in an online model. So, with our entire team having sort of perfected the model for a cloud kitchen format, where we are able to, already within a margin tight business, which is the keyword over here, are able to outperform and outshine and also have very healthy financials in those models. Now moving from that into a much more margin friendly business, so as to say, we have the utmost confidence and, honestly, excitement to get into this particular segment and to make sure that we utilize the most of it. We have a base kitchen which takes care of a lot of your 30 to 40% of raw material supplies and deliveries in order for consistency management, basically. And the formats themselves are scalable, adaptable. Now the important thing again here is, uh, as compared to certain brands that I had shown previously, who also have a very strong presence within the NCR market in our cuisine. We have a menu that, depending on our format, we sort of put our price points. So in a food court format, our price points will be a little more towards the aggressive side. In a casual dining format, the price points and the dishes will be such to complement the segment of people that come in there. So we don't wish to alienate anyone. We want to make sure that our price points are such that from the middle class to the upper middle class to the high class to all different classes of people that we aim to serve to. Our price points are competitive with all of them, and again, we have a potentially quick return on investment, usually ending up within 16 to 20 months. So this is all from my side for now. I'd like to hand it back over to the Franchise India team, and those guys will be taking it over. It was a pleasure presenting my presentation to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aryan. And it was a pleasure at our end also. I think this was very beautiful presentation that you made. And friends, Aryan is actually taking the legacy of his father ahead. He's a second generation entrepreneur. So the business started about 3 years back, and they're already very successful in two locations, Gurgaon and Delhi, where they're running these outlets. And what Aryan said, I would also kind of echo on that thought, and if you look at the last 4 or 5 years, there has been a rise in the pan-Asian food demand and popularity, and not just being a Chinese or a Hong Kong, but even Japanese, Vietnamese, Korean, Burmese cuisine. All that has become very dominant trend in India. And big foodie cities, including even tier 2 cities, have seen a big rise in this kind of dining and trends, which is catching up today. So Asian dining now is trending absolutely across all, I would say, foodies across India. And there's a big time difference in Indian Chinese as we used to consume, I would say, 10, 15, 18, 20 years back, and pan-Asian cuisines, the new avatar that we see today. And customers or people who are actually going out dining are looking at specialty food from the Asian cuisine overall. And this is the offering which Qwinny's is bringing to all of us. Now, some of the key points from the presentation, I'll quickly recap for all of you. So first and foremost, if you look at the locations and the choice of locations they have carefully selected these locations from GK Promenade Mall, DLF Cyber Park, and they've created, their audience, or I would say opinion makers who are already consuming their food. Second, if you look at the branding, it is very, very clean branding, which they have used from the pictures that you saw, and also very, very minimalistic, which means there's not too much of capex which goes into the initial investment. And most of the restaurants, QSR or food court of this nature, you would see the investment almost 50% higher than what it is for Qwinny. So they've kept it very clean and minimalistic in terms of the branding and also the basic capex interiors that get into the outlet. And they also have a very well-defined organizational structure with all the key stakeholders for each phase of operations, from the time that you sign up to the launch to day-to-day support that you need in running and operating these outlets.
all that has been clearly defined, and there's a specific spoke, who is responsible for all that. So the company is going very clearly, with a cluster approach in terms of their expansion, where their current focus is primarily Delhi NCR for unit franchisees. So they would not want to spread thin, and they also have defined exact locations, where they foresee the business potential and the demand coming out of. So the two model, friends, that we're talking about is QSR and the cloud kitchen model, where the investment would be 26 lakhs for a food court format, and about 45 46 lakhs for a QSR format. So I'm not too sure if I missed on the area, because what area would be needed, for a food court and that.
So all right. So for a food court, the areas are usually defined already, depending upon the capability of the particular location that is there. Anywhere from 300 square feet, 250 to 300 square feet onwards will be enough for us to set up our operations. And for a casual dining format, anywhere from about 1,000 to maybe 1,500 square feet in terms of carpet area is what would be ideal. Given a breakdown of about 4 to 500 square feet going into the area required for the kitchen and its operations, and the rest to be able to provide seating cover for all of the customers.
That's helpful. And friends, I saw a lot of you even raising your hands, and we have a Q&A box that you can see on your screens at the bottom. Please use that for writing any questions, and these questions would be taken live in the webinar. So Aryan, I will start taking these questions from our investors also. Now, and the first question, which I think can be interesting for many people, and while you did comment on the profile of investors, partners who are ideal, and this is something which, a lot of people, especially who have not into business or not been from the food background, so to say, are a little apprehensive. And I see that question coming from Anna Kalsi from Gurgaon. She's from Gurgaon, and asking, what advice would you give to maybe a new investor or a partner who wants to start a food business? And typically, what are the challenges is being asked that you also faced, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Okay, so as far as starting a new business, in this particular format, so the food business, being an essential service, it has endless competition. There's always new people constantly coming up and springing up. So if at any point you feel like you've figured it out, you've cracked the code, then that you're doing something that's absolutely wrong. You need to constantly innovate, constantly critique your own dishes, your own menu, your own processes that are there, and slowly over time perfecting those, sort of automating the things that can be automated, making sure that the functions of the business that need a very strong and a very vigilant eye on them on a constant basis are being watched on a day-to-day basis, and slowly and steadily building on any sort of traction that you have, recognizing the needs of the market. All of these factors play a huge role in defining where your brand will be going or where it won't be going at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And also, friends, just to add on, unlike many other businesses, that we do ourselves or we take a franchise, food business is something which definitely requires your own time to be put into the operations, which is very, very important part of becoming a franchisee. And that is where your unit efficiencies actually come in. And also, for the companies, the only reason they would need partners is because, after a certain point in time where the company has expanded where they want to, the efficiencies start dropping because of an absence of an owner, and that's where franchisee actually comes in. So I had another question, because we are talking about a category, and we have also seen a lot of competition which exists in this category, while we don't have any national brands, bigger ones, and also not many chains, even if I talk about the regional level, but there are many players who are actually existing in this market. And now if we have to look at this competition and or maybe the overall competitive landscape as we talk about, how would you differentiate maybe your service or offering, and where do you find yourself placed vis-a-vis the competition?
Okay, so again, now talking about the competition, now there are a lot of well established brands within NCR, serving in the Pan Asian cuisine, who have been here for, 10, 15, even 20 years. I mean, longer than I've been born, honestly. There have been certain brands that are still operational. So, with that in mind, we do understand that we are the new player that has come into this market as of right now. And, we are basically ensuring that we don't leave any stone unturned. So, whether it's a food court, whether it's a dine-in model, whether it's people, wanting to enjoy a meal at home, we have, sort of gone about designing our menu and specializing it according to a particular type of a format. So, just to give you a quick example, one of the best-selling items within this cuisine is your crispy honey chili potato, or like any sort of finger food that is fried, is something that people really tend to enjoy. But one of the challenges we faced in the delivery of these sort of items was that we received certain feedback from our customers that the food was a little soggy, or some XYZ thing had happened. So in order to innovate around this and provide the best possible sort of food experience and the best curated food menu according to this particular type of format that we will be serving our guests in, as well as making sure that whatever that particular menu is, the processes around it, the I mean, every single thing, from the raw material being cut all the way up till the food being served, into the hands of the guest, is something that, every single process being done a very specific way, catered to that exact type of format that, and, the exact type of experience that we wish to create in our consumers' head is the main factor that goes into this.
Absolutely. Very well put, Aryan. This is very interesting. Okay, I'll quickly also go, and we talked about two models. We talked about a master franchisee, and we also talked about a unit franchisee. The unit franchise model has been very well explained, and we're looking at only partners within Delhi NCR for a unit franchisee. And as far as a city master, area master is concerned, these are the locations which are outside Delhi NCR. And typically, based on the size of the territory, this is something that would be actually allocated to a partner. Now, Aryan, because we did talk about the number of subunits that can come under area city-based franchisee depending on the potential. On a broader term, do you think we would want to discuss typically what is the arrangement for an area franchisee? What all requirements he needs to have? Is he required to also have a centralized kitchen? He needs to invest, and what is the typical investment he would end up doing, and what are the revenue sources for him after taking the rights?
All right. So, for a area franchisee, for a master franchisee, I believe. So, a few things. So, first of all, experience in the food service industry is always appreciated and welcome. But, even more important than that, so as to say, is somebody who, has a very good, who has a very good sense of what the region and what the market is actually like. Because somebody who is a master franchisee with us will be joining hands with us and will be investing a lot of time helping us develop the perfect menu for them in their formats. So we need somebody who has sort of a pulse and a beat of the city that they want to open up in, and knowing exactly what kind of niches work where, knowing the best locations to open up in. All of these things are definitely more important than any sort of food experience, because we have a multitude of that in different positions across our team, which will be helping out. As far as the revenue sources are concerned, for a base kitchen, for a master franchisee, there's obviously some sort of a ability to sub franchise out the locations, or whether it's through direct revenue from outlets that the franchisee opens himself, or I mean, one of the prerequisites of becoming a master franchisee is that we are not going to be opening up any outlets in any new regions without having a base kitchen that we regulate constantly and are in touch with 24/7, to make sure that the quality and consistency is exactly the same. So our immediate emphasis when it comes to unit franchisees is within the Delhi NCR market for these exact reasons. And we do plan to move forward again now through maybe master franchisees, or maybe setting up our own base kitchens and, contacting and getting in touch with unit franchisees, whatever the case might be. The thing of paramount importance over here is ensuring that the food experience to the customer is retained and the quality and consistency across all outlets and formats is retained.
That's helpful. And I'll quickly go on a couple of more questions as we come to the end of the webinar. We're just a couple of minutes left. So I'll take one question from Mr. Nikhil. He's asking, when we talk about the cost of goods sold, and this is the food cost, friends, we are referring here. He's saying, have you taken into consideration the GST and any other fees which are part of it?
Okay, so, when it comes to the food cost, yes, we have absolutely taken all trade licenses, whether it's your health license, your MCD licenses, your FSSAI licenses, have all been accounted for in the financial model that we had presented. And even other than that, there's an internal transfer that is sort of deducted, which I believe is 5% interstate, done on any sort of food item. So any supply from our base kitchen that might be going on an interstate basis has already, whatever our food cost comes out for that, it has been hiked up by 5%. And that is the cost that we have put into our financial systems to ensure that we get the most accurate figures of what kind of a model our investors can expect.
And Aryan, now coming on the offering, and we talk about two models, the food court and the sit down, do we have differentiated offering in both these models? So the menu is more wider for a sit down QSR? Is it
Absolutely
narrowed down for a smaller format, say food court? And if you want to also comment at the same time, typical APCs, for a food court, hamara typical APCs kya hoti hai? And also for a QSR sit down, typical APCs, what is, the average price per customer that we have in both these formats?
Okay, so coming to the average order values that we're targeting, within the food court model, we have seen, a healthy average order value is anything from about 550 to about 700 rupees. That's a very healthy AOV for a good food court. And for a casual dining format, something around the 1,000 to 1,200 rupee range is something that is, again, a very healthy average order value for the particular format. Now, when it comes to the offerings, like you had said, there is definitely a difference between the food court and the casual dining models. Now, with the food court model, what we do is I would say there are maybe two key differences between the entire menu and how we have created it, to be the way it is. The first key difference comes in the fact that, we understand that in a food court, people are in a hurry, people are there to come and grab a meal quickly, get it packed, have it take away, and, just sort of leave from there. So, keeping that in mind, we've made sure that, we've only put in dishes that, we are confident that we can serve our customers in 6 to 7 to maximum maybe 8 minutes until we can serve to them. Plus, another thing that we've factored in over here is that the food court model is also something that needs to be much more inclusive when it comes to the pricing. Given because, you can find absolutely everyone in a food court. Nobody's going to be entering a restaurant until they want to necessarily eat at the restaurant, but a food court sees all segments of the population present. And, with it being our responsibility to target all of those particular segments of the population that are there, there are certain differences between the two. But yes, our casual dining model definitely does have a bit of an extended sort of a where we, sort of delve a little deeper into the Japanese cuisines and the Korean cuisines as well.
Sure. And Aryan, how about the supply? All the supplies, do they come centrally from the kitchen or, there are some proprietary recipes, products which are procured from the central kitchen or supplied by you and sent to the outlet? How is the supply chain in your case? How does it work out?
All right. So for the supply chain, about 30 to 40%, roughly. So as I had mentioned, we have a system of cataloging all of our equipments into A, B, and C categories, with A being equipments that you would be buying from us and from our base kitchens directly, the raw materials, with the products from category B being, the products that you would be sort of getting from our authorized vendors and equipment suppliers, and category C being the open market. So, given that our supply chain is such that depending on the total inventory that you have, depending on the sales of your outlets, there will be a plan that will be generated, and which will be followed as far as the supply of goods from our base kitchen to your satellite kitchens is concerned. And depending upon the sale, the stocks, we have a whole inventory management system that we actually use, and any franchisees and any investors that choose to join us will be onboarded onto that platform as well. So that has a order placing function as well. But primarily, we will be taking over that part of the process, and looking at the supplies and the inventory present, we're going to be sending out either a daily or every alternate day, a van, or some sort of transport from our base kitchen will be bringing you your supplies.
Sure. And I'll take one last question from Mr. Arjun Jwahar. He's asking, how are we looking at any cloud kitchen or delivery format as well? One, and the second, is there also an opportunity where we can have a franchisee-owned company operated structure too?
Okay, so first, coming to the first part of the question. So the cloud kitchen, the thing is, even though we have two outlets that are doing extremely successfully within the cloud kitchen format, I had mentioned that, during our peak, our outlet in Gurgaon would do in excess of 35 lakhs. And, even today, both of our outlets put together do a combined, 40 to 45 lakhs worth of business, even in today's time. So the problem that we really see with the cloud kitchens coming in is that, due to the margins not being very friendly, due to the factors of, the aggregator commissions that are a part of it, the online visibility, and the marketing budget that is sort of required. And also, in the online sort of a segment, with pretty much everyone ordering through their favorite aggregators, Zomato and Swiggy for the most part, there's this sort of a discount culture that has almost, evolved, where, people will be comparing X to Y to Z. So, all of those things make it a very difficult business to sort of ensure that it's not a very margin friendly business. And so what we have actually done is we've taken our expertise in the cloud kitchen format, and we've applied that to our dine-in and our food court models. And what we do is that, our any location that we choose has a break even that is lesser than the revenue generated by the dine-in model. So, once that break even threshold is closed, and the bottom line is secured, what happens is, when we add your cloud kitchen or delivery functions simply as a support function to your core business, it can really, really boost your top line for the well. Like, it can really take your net profitability of 5 to 6% up to a 15 to 20%. These things are what makes the difference. So for a company owned, so for a company operated and franchisee owned, I believe was the model you had asked. Honestly speaking, our model, even though we say it's franchisee owned, franchisee operated, is given our support functions, we're going to be with you when it comes to the onboarding processes, when it comes to the staffing and training, when it comes to menu innovations, when it comes to the design and the layout and the site selection. So, throughout the 5-year tenure that is going to be there, our support as a brand and as a company will be with you throughout those 5 years. But definitely we do need somebody who is keen on and, has the time and the propensity to sort of, just allocate 20 to 30 minutes in a day to have a rough overview and, just look over the business to a degree.
And would you also be, because I see you have an eye for good locations, and I'm sure you're already discussing with some either developers or property owners, where if a prospective franchisee is looking at your assistance in procuring these locations, would you be able to assist them? One. And
Absolutely.
do we have any
Yeah.
locations already in hand that you would want to maybe even tell our audience which is present?
So we're definitely, in constant talks with a lot of different developers, a lot of different, retail shopping mall managers, a lot of different office space food, sort of companies that do that. So, we are in touch with that, and absolutely, we would be more than happy to help anyone choose the right location, because, it's not just the right location for them, it's the right location for all of us when it comes down to it. And we are in talks with certain developers. As I had mentioned, we have two upcoming openings, one due within this month and one in the next few months with the DLF incoming. So we have they are arguably the biggest builder, if not the biggest, in Delhi NCR as a whole. So we have their entire multitude of retail malls and whatnot, and office parks, which there are endless of, as a prospective location for us to open up in. And even other than this, depending on a certain location or a certain, within NCR, just given all the different retail malls and office spaces that seem to be coming up, we will definitely be more than happy to help someone out in identifying and choosing the right location for their outlets.
Great. And Aryan, as we close, I will request any closing remark that you have for all our audience who's listening to you.
So for a closing remark, again, I just like to say that, I'd just like to maybe emphasize one more time on our corporate vision. So our corporate vision is to deliver a premium pan-Asian food experience, owing to operational excellence, completely having in hand our processes and providing an amazing experience to our customers. So, any action, any change, anything that we do within our company is always geared with that vision in our minds. And, we look forward to hearing from all the investors. And I hope that I could have shed some light on the opportunity that I wanted to present to all of you today.
Thank you so much, Aryan. And friends, we have a day which is 23rd of November, where we are bringing all qualified investors, interested partners, prospective partners who would like to get into a detailed discussion with Mr. Aryan Malhotra. And I will also request, because the expansion is Delhi NCR, they're already operating some of the most, I would say, the marquee prominent locations out of Delhi NCR. You're also requested to come and experience their product and see the offering for yourself. So we have the date which has been decided. It is 23rd. I'm repeating again, November. Our teams at Franchise India will reach out to all of you. We'll fix your slot for 23rd for one-to-one meetings. And we also putting our email ID and also our hotline number, which is 9717683838, and feedback@franchiseindia.in, where you can reach out to for any queries or fixing up your slot. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aryan. And Rashna, can I request you to kindly take it up from here, please?
Thank you so much, Aryan, for joining in today. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am. Thanks all the dear
Thank
friends
you
for
to the entire team in helping arrange this webinar.
Thank you, sir. It's our privilege. So thank you so much, all the dear participants, for joining in, doing registration. Please do reach out to us at our business hotline number, which is 9717683838. We have shared our email ID also in the chat box. Connect with us at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you want to have an expert advice from the management team of Franchise India, join Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their LinkedIn platform. Email ID link we have just shared on the screen. And tomorrow we are bringing the brand which is offering franchisee-owned company-operated model. Variety, the brand which comes from a very well-known group, where they are providing this particular brand for all of you. It's a top-rated tea-themed cafe chain. They are offering a different model for you, where they are offering minimum guarantee as well as revenue share. So don't miss this chance. Do registration with us, which is free of cost and very easy to get yourself registered with us. Just connect with us either at our business hotline number or go to Facebook page where we have shared the registration link. So look forward to have you in tomorrow's webinar, 12 p.m. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a safe day ahead. Thank you so much. Be happy.